Arala, you're not going live?
Share. It's not like this, but just a little bit.
She got the notification. Right, we good? Yep, yes we are. Shalom, shalom. We are the brothers of the Great Millstone, the branch here in Chicago. And first and foremost, we want to give all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh.
Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem Kakwadash.
Double honors unto the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishops. Salutations to all our fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives.
Make sure his knees ain't in the picture.
Now more so
He said, make sure his knees are not in the
scattered
picture.
around all four corners of the earth among the heathens that look like the heathens.
Step back.
And to the very few Aquas that are listening and learning, we say shalom. And we just gonna jump right into this thing. And how this truth is just becoming more and more prominent, which is why Esau is taking more measures to try to distract from the truth, trying to distract from the chariots, and the truth about the chariots. And more movies are coming out. I was watching. I turned on and clicked on the Nick Fury thing, and it's about a whole alien invasion. Aliens that look like humans and all that. Yeah, they're trying to get a control of the narrative, and they can't, because the truth of the matter is that they've lost control of the narrative. A lot of so-called white people, the Edomites, know that they're the Edomites, and a lot of the other nations also know who they are, and even those that don't, they know that the so-called white man is in fact Esau, Edom, and give me that they won't be able to hide themselves, Bob Kushah, and also in Obadiah 1:6, how the things that Esau searched out. First and foremost, the Bible. All right. That's why I think it was Theodore Roosevelt that said that the best education that you can get is a thorough knowledge of the Bible. It's better than any college education that you can get. That you can spend all kind of ridiculous amounts of money to learn absolutely nothing, to get a degree of knowledge. When the Bible is a complete 360 degrees of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Fullness, exactly. But whoever got it, bring it out.
This is the Obadiah. You want that one first?
It doesn't matter which one.
This is Obadiah 1:6. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought out?
Yeah. And like we said, number one is the Bible, man. And the truth about who we are and the truth about who they are, it's coming out, man. I mean, and you got more and more people that look like Esau, all right, that are actually agreeing with us and saying what we're saying.
If I may, while they get the other one, this is Wisdom of Solomon 2:12. Therefore, let us lie and wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn. He is clean contrary to our doings. He objected to our infamy, the transgressings of our education. Esau knows that he's transgressing on the education that he's putting out there. He knows he's pushing lies. Now his lies are catching up with him in the heathens. The lies are catching up with them amongst Esau himself. That's why they're complaining of ungodly father. And now Jake, the righteous of Jake, for the most part, is waking the fuck up, and Esau is being made bad.
And the curses are falling on his ass too. Breaking news. The actor Julian Sands went missing, and they just found some human remains in the area where he went missing.
Whoa.
Julian Sands. You know him when you see him.
Oh yeah.
He played a lot of those warlocks and witches and shit.
He must have came against the Bible.
But nevertheless, the curses are falling upon them. You got a Russian just got ate by a shark. Unfortunately, they killed the shark for doing
his job.
Because this intruder came into his home.
Right.
All right, and he he didn't know. He probably thought that Edomite was going to try to sleep with one of his little shark babies. I don't know. He wanted to defend his house. But no, the real talk though, how you going to kill a shark? How you going to jump in the ocean where great whites and bull sharks and tiger sharks and sharks that actually eat people or can eat people swim and roam, and you go jump into their habitat, and then when one of them attack you, so
just like the safari.
So I hope that it is Julian Sands remains, but it's just going to show you, right? So when you see him, that his remains were found. Some remains were found, in a trail. He went disappearing, and there was some remains found you know, in the area where he went missing. So it may be him. So
Yeah,
and you know, and if it is, then you know, he actually got lucky because things are gonna get really, really bad. All right, they're gonna get really bad. But Mitch, you got something, brother?
The Jeremiah 49.
I'll be shot. And then bring out that video if you will.
God, I posted them both in infos room already.
Come.
This Jeremiah 49 and verse
Okay. Maybe
yeah.
8. Start at 8.
Yeah. I'm gonna start at 7. Concerning Edom, thus saith Yahweh host, is wisdom no more teeming, is counsel perish from the prudent, is their wisdom vanished. And we see everything that Esau does is she shoot himself in the foot. Every executive decision.
Both feet.
Yeah. He's causing division. He at one point the American pride at one point was they was with America going to police the world. Now they're pissed about it.
Yep.
Patriots ain't with them no more. Like, you wasting our fucking American dollars doing this shit. They talking about that $6.2 billion, that account error. They pissed, man. There's a lot of pissed off Americans about all this shit, man, with Ukraine and all this, right?
Yeah.
So that's division right there.
Because they follow the narrative of Esau, even, and now they're seeing them being exposed.
Flee ye, turn back, dwell deep, O heavens of D-Dan, for I will bring the calamity of Esau upon him, the time that I will visit him, which way Elder Malcolm said. The sayings in this lifetime got lucky, all right? But not so much. If great grandeurs come to thee, what they not leave some gleaning grapes. If these by night they will destroy if they have enough. But I have made Esau bare, so the Lord is going to completely spoil you, Esau. All right? A great grandeur will leave some grapes on the vine. You're not going to be left. None of Esau will be left. All right? You're going to be brought down completely low. The ones of you that escaped the missiles, you're going to be put in slavery. Every last Edomite will be touched.
That's
Absolutely.
Right. That's right.
Absolutely.
Every single one of you, and not one will be missed.
Yeah, we're going to kill Marion.
He gonna get sifted too. Go ahead.
Touch. I have uncovered his secret places. He shall not be able to hide himself.
That's right.
His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. So you're being revealed. All right, it says in 2 Thessalonians, before that coming, you'll be destroyed by the words of the mouth. Well, that mouth is speaking. That's the prophets. And Isaiah 44 tells us what? The Lord, he performeth the words of his prophets. So the things the prophets speak, which are things written, is surely going to happen, and are happening now, man.
That's right.
And you're being revealed to be the devil that you are.
That's right.
And the whole world is fucking sinning. Even the other Edomites are sinning.
That's right.
Especially your women.
I've got this one. This is Job 34:21. For his eyes are upon the ways of man, and he seeth all his going.
That's right. That's like the scripture says, his eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. And Numbers, I would say, make sure you know your sins will find you out.
Right. Hey, what did Psalm say? I believe it's King David that wrote this one. You know, but he say, have he that made the eye, shall he not see? He that made the ear, shall he not hear?
That's right.
He thought you was doing all this shit in secrecy, but hey, Dan, the brother brought a raw ass quote yesterday on the line. The brother Matazar. It was TJ, Thomas Jefferson.
Yep.
He said, I fear. Oh yeah, he was this.
I tremble.
I tremble. Yeah, I tremble when I think that the Lord is just. So you understand that they're going to get punished for the shit they've been doing. The devils believe in, it says in the scriptures, the devils believe and tremble.
That's right.
That's why you got these Edomite whistleblowers, all right? They know that judgment is coming.
Yeah, you got this Sicilian girl who's been bringing out the history about white people not being white.
Right.
And she's regurgitated a lot of stuff that we brought out, but she's bringing it out, all right? And
Can I get this one?
She brought up the letter that Ben Franklin wrote, and she even said in her video, I did a response to it, I had to, but she even said in her video that it's clear that when he said red, that he wasn't talking about the natives, but he was talking about the red-faced white people, because he had already referred to the natives as Tawny, Dusky, and Tawny and Swarthy. He had already bunched them in that.
Yep.
All right, so the evidence and the truth is just it's coming out like a flood, man. Literally a flood.
Okay.
Right.
If I may, real quick, I'll quote it. Just quote Psalms. It said, "The truth shall spring
64 and 8. Oh no, 85 and 11.
Truth shall spring forth out of the earth, You know, the truth is springing forth and flooding out in such a from artifacts to writings to history to scriptures to spirits and every single
Speaking of that, I was watching a video with one of the brothers over in London, not the main London camp, but the other London camp where that brother goes out by himself sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
The older brother with the with the slight grain of beard, and you had a Romanian, yeah, and that brother came out. I mean, you had a Romanian guy came up to him, could have to be Jake, and had a whole phone full of black icons, saying that these are the real images, and then and this was a Romanian dude who looked white, and right before this so-called white guy who had the spirit of Jacob.
Come on, man.
He didn't buck up at none of the scriptures his brother brought out either, and he had the black icons in his phone. Right, a white guy.
I seen it, but not seen it.
And then there was a Jake that came before him who couldn't get it.
Cool.
Yeah, let me finish this. This is Job 34, picking up at 22. There is no darkness nor shadow of death where the workers of iniquity may hide themselves.
Oh, there it is, man.
Right.
Nice. And then how many white guys are going to walk around with dark images of the Lord and the saints and King David and all that? They're not going to do it.
Absolutely.
They're going to deny that the so-called man is going to deny. The fact that he still calls you an African American is the most hateful, racist thing. He calls you a Hispanic. He calls you a Haitian or whatever. Why? Because he's trying to hide who you are and also trying to hide
who he is.
Right.
And now he's been made bare. It's no more hiding.
I got a few quick ones for you. This is Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. It says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe unto the earth. Woe unto the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time." Why? Because 2 Esdras chapter 6, verse 28 says, "As for faith, it shall flourish."
Read 27 first.
Yes, sir. This is 2 Esdras chapter 6, verse 27. It says, "For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. As for faith, it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome. And the truth, which hath been so long without fruit, shall be declared." And why was it without fruit? Because the wicked, was deceiving the whole earth. But now they're being exposed. And what happens right after they're exposed and the truth, which have been so long without fruit, be declared?
Humiliation.
Well, right here in Matthew chapter 24, verse 14, it says, "And this gospel of the kingdom, which is the truth, shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come."
That's it.
The end of the wicked's rule is coming now that the truth is out and the exposing of the lies of Esau Edom, who is the wicked.
The real truth.
And a big part of that truth coming out is Esau being exposed.
Exactly.
That's a huge part of this.
Yep.
Right?
I got a couple.
Go ahead, and then we're gonna play that first video.
So this, I tried. The 2 Thessalonians 2. Yeah, brother. You only gotta manage to reject once. This 2 Thessalonians 2. I'm gonna bounce around though. 2 and 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first. So we had to fall away, like the Bishop Yaki read. All right, the truth which have been so long without fruit. All right, that's that Jeremiah 17:4. What is it, Hosea? I believe the 3rd chapter, the 4th chapter. Israel shall dwell many days without a king, without the ephod. We lost who we were completely.
Right.
All right, we became a valley of dry bones. And that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition.
That's right.
So the falling away has happened. And now with the waking up is that man of sin being revealed. So I'm going to jump down, which that man of sin is Esau Edom.
Right. If I may real quick, it says in that Psalms 82, the job of the prophets is to rid our people from the hand of the wicked and all their deceit. You see, that's
That's
it.
spirit. I'm jumping down to verse 8. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. What's the Lord's mouth? The prophets. Daniel 9 and 10, Hosea 12 and 10. All right, and the book of Jeremiah said, this people shall be wood, and his word in your mouth shall be as fire. It's the first step of it. And shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. So first we speak it, like Yaka read, and in Matthew, this gospel shall be preached, and then shall the end come. Even him who's coming after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders. So Satan as a physical counterpart on earth. When you read Revelation 12, it's clearly talking about the Roman army, and they're referred to as what? The old serpent, the devil. And right here it calls them the wicked. Well, Malachi 1 and 4 lets you know that Esau, Edom is that wicked.
Yep.
So a part of us waking up to this truth, all right, is waking up to the truth and exposing this devil.
That's right.
That's Psalms 50 and 16. Yeah, I'm gonna jump down. But unto the wicked, God says, "What hast thou to declare my statutes? But if thou shouldst take my covenant in thy mouth, seeing thou hatest instruction,
Right.
and cast my words behind thee." So Esau Edom is the devil. All right, he don't want to hear the word of the Lord. He's a deaf adder and stopping his ear. All right, now jumping down to verse 20. Thou sinnest and speakest against thy brother. Thou slanderest thy own mother's son. He's thy twin brother. These things hast thou done, and I kept silence. Though thou thoughtest thou was altogether such as one like as thyself.
See, because the Most High allowed them to get their wickedness off.
Yep.
Because they have a bounds that they cannot pass. But since they wouldn't get punished for all
Calm,
the wickedness that they were, putting out in the earth.
Oh,
it was
shit.
Like, oh man.
Oh shit.
The Lord, hey,
He with
he
me.
with us.
Yeah.
Manifest
Thinking that
destiny.
they got,
Yeah. Yeah, and the Lord allowed their hubris to increase. It said their pride deceived thee.
Right.
They really got their heads, they got, they figured it out.
Yep.
They really thought they figured the loophole out.
Right.
Let's keep making them sin. The Lord won't come back. Well, you forgot about the sacrifice how it shall made. It was already understood.
Oh no, slide. Oh no, that's why I said Wisdom Solomon 2. That's why you say, let us see if his words be true, because Lord ain't been saving you.
Right.
So when you say you're gonna do it this time, that's what they think in their mind.
Yeah.
But hey, that's what our grace, the spirit, man, our grace is how it shine, man.
See.
All right? Hey, it ain't about keeping the laws of Moses no more. That don't mean you don't keep them.
Rehearse.
Right, you know, right. It's about the
Reestablish.
grace and how it shine there.
That's
So
why I
that's all
said
I'm
that
told.
because somebody gonna try to soundbite it and run with it. You see?
Right.
Well, goofy. Do what you gotta do.
That's
All right? Hey, but our grace is how it shine, man. So like I say, he became a curse to deliver us from the curse. Curse the man that hangeth on the tree. He did that.
Right.
So we don't have to be under the curse. Esau, you're toast. These things has thou done. I kept silence. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such and one as thyself. Y'all figured it out. We got the book. Oh, look what it said, Judah. Look what it said, Jeremiah. Stay sin. Let's keep them in sin. Hey, but look, but I will reprove thee. So the Lord is speaking against your ass. Set thy face against Mount Seir, and set them in order before thine eyes.
In your face.
So now we've been set in order and reproving you.
And that's what's making them nervous. All right. It's making them nervous because, you got a lot of these people, a lot of these religious leaders that are readily admitting they know who we are. All right. And then you got just everyday citizens who the internet is like a college course. It's like education for those people, because some people just don't goof off on the internet every time they go on.
Right.
Some people actually go on there and research and look shit up. Unfortunately, Jake don't do it enough. But the heathens they look shit up, man. And Esau starting to figure out, hey, the stuff that these Hebrew Israelites are saying is on point. And what they're saying is true. A lot of them are being converted and believe, man.
That's right.
And I see it all the time, man. All right.
Truth shall set you free.
It's an info room, both of videos.
Hold it, brother. Then let's play these short videos, and then we bring out some points. They're both less than a minute long. So okay, Mr. DJ.
DJ play my song.
It's white. The light is white. It's yellow.
Yeah, and I'm convinced that this Jewish guy right here, I'm
Right?
convinced that this dude is a whole Jake, man.
Yeah, I believe both these dudes are Jake, for sure.
But you know, Esau.
This is live or something?
No.
You might want to go back.
Yeah,
Go back one.
See, I didn't do that.
Yes, that nigga, please here.
Yeah, this guy. He even look like a nigga, really. Look at his face.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, look at him.
Look at that nose. That nigga nose.
Speak up. Hold on. Turn the volume up.
So we saw on the front end by acknowledging that the social construct of whiteness here in America is real and that there are inherent benefits to being born white in a country that has its origins rooted in white supremacy. That said, I've been able to disassociate myself from the identity of whiteness in that I do not derive any of my personal identity from the fact that my skin lacks melanin. I want to be explicitly clear when I say that whiteness is not real and that whiteness only exists in the presence of blackness or in the presence of other communities of color. One of the things that I observed growing up in an all-white community is that there is no meaningful solidarity around whiteness. I look back across my childhood and I examine the times that my family was going through hardship, and I identify the people who were in a position to help us, but ultimately chose not to, or in some circumstances, deliberately went out of their way to make our lives more difficult. What I find is that it's exclusively old white people. What I found in these instances is that even though they were that whiteness did not provide any sense of
All right, he couldn't escape the curses, man. I am 100% sure that this dude is Jake, man.
Yeah.
All right, he said when he was going through hardship, those same said white people were the people who went out of their way to make his life that much worse.
Wow.
He said only time whiteness is pushed within the white community is when someone of color comes around. All right.
Wow.
So he didn't escape the curses, man.
This Romans 8:16.
And this dude is a ish.
What?
Yeah, they look out for each other. It's funny that he was
Ostracized in the process.
Yeah, that's how you know he's an Israelite. He was. Hey, it says you should rock the rich man. A rich man that falls is upholded by the rich man.
Mm-hmm.
Terrible rough paraphrase. All right, because it don't say rich motherfuckers. Obviously, in scripture.
Right.
And it says that.
They hold each other up.
Yeah, so for them to go through that just shows you what? That he's a nigga, and that's a spirit. It's Romans 8:16. The spirit itself bear witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High. And what does it say in Deuteronomy 28? It's a list of curses, and it says these curses will be on you until destroy you.
And they hit his
So
ass.
no matter what you do, you're gonna deal with it. That's why you got the untouchables in India. These are Israelites in India.
Yeah.
You got the untouchables in India. You got the Jake Moabites. They don't deal with them. They put them on the damn mountain. They don't even get them no airtime. All right, but that's just knowing that you Jake.
And let me mind you too, for the people, for you TikTok people, this is a TikTok video.
Mm-hmm.
So this information is already on TikTok, man. So if you're offended, I don't know. I guess maybe they have agents. They come on and watch, and they just can't. Like we said, the truth. People just can't handle the truth, and the truth is gonna come out whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
So you try to purposely get videos removed.
Wash it under the rug.
You can't do anything against this. You're only gonna help it. Every time that a so-called white person, this made-up thing, which he's talking about, tries to come against this truth, they only forward it because it is the actual truth. And if it hurts your feelings, oh well. Too bad, so sad. I mean, the truth. And typically, people don't like the truth because the truth makes people uncomfortable. What you should get mad at is your forefathers for lying, for saying that you were the Irish, saying that you were the Scots, saying that you were the Spartans, saying that you were the Israelites. If they just would have told the truth, and look, we Esau, it's our time, let's rule this bitch. But they didn't do that. They tried to cover up and hide and lie, and now it's making it that much worse.
They can't
Now that
backtrack.
it's coming out. Okay, when you backtrack to the past and when you cross-check history, you find out that everything was saying, this isn't hate, this is just simple truth, man. Mm-hmm. Man up or woman up and just swallow it.
That's right.
We swallowed that pill.
That's right.
Yeah, now it's your turn. Because guess what?
Shit.
Whether you like it or not, you're going to eat the shit.
That's right.
There's a cup of shit in slavery that's coming to you. And you're going to drink it. You're going to eat it. Whether you want to or not.
And it's going to be double too. It's going to be a double
It is
portion.
what it is.
Right? It's going to be a double portion because of what you've done to to the people of the Lord. The Lord said, render unto them double.
Now let's
So-
let this guy.
Can I grab one?
Go ahead, brother.
Yep. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 12, verse 22. It says, therefore, whereas thou dost chasten us, thou scourgest our enemies 1,000 times more.
So right, so that beat that we took is coming to everyone else, especially the actual Edomites, 1,000 times worse, man. So if we could let them finish making this point.
I got one
Brothers
after
got
this.
scriptures to bring out.
Absolutely.
Old white people. What I found in these instances is that even though they were white and we were white, that whiteness did not provide any sense of connection to the point where they felt obligated to help us. And that's what you'll find anytime that everybody in the room is white. That whiteness does not provide a strong enough connection to overrule any of their individual self-interests. Clearly, the identity of whiteness has some appeal, some allure. Believe me, go ask Enrique Tarrio. In fact, the only time that you'll see the whiteness has a meaningful binding effect is when people gather together for the express purpose of celebrating said whiteness. Now, these are all observations that I've taken from my personal life experience, but we can also pull from historical evidence examples that show that whiteness is a contrivance. As Theodore Allen points out in his book, The Invention of the White Race, whenever the first Africans showed up at Jamestown.
Oh,
I
The
never
invention?
heard anybody mention Theodore Allen until I did.
con.
No one talks about Theodore Allen.
The invention of the white race.
The woman, Jacqueline Badalore, which I've used a lot of her research. Everyone should know her name by now. She got her information from Theodore Allen. That's what made me look him up. So this guy knows. So for you, and more than likely, the person that's complaining and giving off the fake warnings and stuff is probably an Edomite. And so guess what? Whiteness is made up. You don't exist. It's not real.
And we don't.
You're red. All right. He's red, even though he's not an Edomite. All right. Put it back on him, Papa Kusha. I just wanted to say that. He mentioned.
In 1619, there were no white people whenever they showed up. In fact, the word white wouldn't show up in colonial records for another 60 years. At that time in history, there were English, Irish, French, German, Austrian, Russian, Prussian. They were a nationality. They never referred to themselves as white. It wasn't until 1680 that the concept of whiteness became prevalent in the cultural lexicon, and that's a direct result of the colony of Virginia legislating whiteness into existence in response to Bacon's Rebellion, which was a labor uprising comprised of an alliance of European indentured servants and African indentured servants and slaves. The ruling class of Virginia was incredibly concerned about this alliance, and it culminated in the Slave Codes of 1705, which created a social separation between Europeans and Africans. It ensured that Europeans could never be subjected to lifetime servitude, and it ensured that African slaves could never be free.
Pause.
The social separation was
So let me give you a little bit further breakdown for any brother who don't know, or any of you inquiring minds out there. So basically, what that did was that the super elite Edomites, they gave the low-level Edomites something called whiteness, and what it gave them was front-of-the-line privileges that they never had before. And it gave, so they were able to buy property. They were
Outside
able
of
to buy,
red line.
that wasn't nowhere near there yet. Pops, not yet. We're still in the 1600s. They were able to buy property. They were able to buy firearms. They were able to marry white women, because what was happening is that all these women that you refer to white, when they were coming over here in the 1600s, the main people they were marrying is the so-called Negro.
Yeah,
right? They were marrying Native Americans. They were even marrying Chinese men. The so-called white man was not getting, unless he was incredibly rich, he wasn't getting the pick of the women. So they passed that law too. And what they did, and women who chose to be with these men had to also, the men of color had to also endure their status. So if you married a man that was low, that wasn't a white guy, and he got put into slavery, and you were a white woman, you got put into slavery with him, even though you were a so-called white woman. So there's a lot of things that they did to make whiteness special, and then and after getting front of the line privileges, for year after year after year after year, that shit got to their head. All right, and that's pretty much what that whole system that was set up, so that they would never have a Bacon's rebellion type thing again. Because basically, what happened was a We Are the World came together against the wealthy white elites. All right, who named themselves that.
You said it's called Bacon's Rebellion?
It was called the Bacon's Rebellion, and it happened in the 1600s. All right, prior to the 1681. So the 1681 was a direct the putting. They're coming up with these new, because prior to that, the Negro and the Native American were both called niggers, and they were considered the same people, the same race. All right, prior to that, so they started coming, and then you got to remember, census enumerators then began to. There's a lot of so-called Negroes who are actually Native Americans. So what they did was anyone who, and there was a lot of intermarrying going on. So anyone who had any hint of kinky hair or had a Negro feature, even though they could have been a native, they got labeled as a Negro. And then a lot of them would get snatched up and sold into slavery, getting shipped down to the South too. Exactly. So a lot of that was happening. All right, all behind that Bacon's rebellion. They never wanted it to happen again. So they created these false classes that are still on your applications for school, for work, to this day. All right, you know, through his policy, he shall destroy many. You know, that's Daniel's 8:25. But let it roll, and y'all brothers bring out y'all scripture.
Could never be free. The social separation was deliberately created by the aristocracy to ensure that they wouldn't have to contend with future labor uprisings, and it's existed in some form or fashion ever since. So once you get all of this, you've identified that whiteness isn't real and that it's always existed as a barrier to class solidarity. It becomes incredibly easy to separate yourself from the identity of whiteness. I appreciate y'all taking the time. Have a good one.
All right,
and
that would go with what you said, Pops. He said when it would continue for generations to come. That's when your redlining, your Jim Crow, and all that stuff rolled out. Later on.
And that was written by Willie Lynch letters. And Willie Lynch said, if you do this and set up the wicked, this wicked regime and separating the tall versus the short, the light skin versus the dark skin, the kinky versus the straight hair, and so etc. He said we can keep them in slavery, if not for 500 years to thousands of years. And so, that's what made these mechanisms they have. It's always pitting Jake against Jake. You want to play the other one?
Yeah, go ahead and play. No, brothers had a couple scriptures, and then
I got one.
Then we'll play the other. Let them bring them scriptures out.
Okay, I got a scripture for you. This is Revelation, because we're speaking about how they don't want to drink of the wrath that's coming to them. This is Revelation 14:10. The same shall drink of the wrath drink the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and with brimstone in the presence of holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb, which is Yahweh Shai. So this is what we're looking forward to. While all this stuff is going on, and this Edomite's trying to duck all this shit that he done been his MO.
Right.
Okay, this is MO. But now he wants to, can we hug it out? Can we just let it go? I was wrong. I fucked up. But yeah, I was drunk with authority and power. Can we let it go?
Right. I got some. This Isaiah 46 and 10. It says, declare the end from the beginning. And in the ancient times, the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasures, and part of the Lord's pleasures, and make you pay for what you did to his people. The Lord don't give a shit what you think or what you don't want to do. You're going to man.
That's right. You're going to choke down that cup.
That's right. I got one. It's Job 20. I'm going to start at 4. Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon the earth, so that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. Hey, so this is something that has been known since the Lord created man and put us in, man. That wickedness, like the Idiot like to say, wickedness have its time, but righteousness has its eternity, man. All right, so this wickedness right here is Yahweh Shai is
for a short time,
right? And it's starting to get, because righteousness is being pushed in the earth right now, man. He says, though his excellency mount up to the heavens and his head reach to the cloud, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung, that they which have seen him shall say, where is he? He shall fly away as a dream and shall not be found. Yeah, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. So hey, ain't gonna be no more Edomites after they serve they judgment, and they gonna get eradicated. Hey, like the scriptures say, give her reward her double as she rewarded you, and double unto her, and the cup was she filled to her double. Hey, Esau tried to eradicate the Israelites. He tried to wipe us off the face of the planet.
He's still trying.
So what's double?
16, brother.
Con. This verse 16, Job 20 is
15.
This Job 20 and 15. He has swallowed. Shit.
Slow it down, boy. It's
Right.
getting good.
It said he has swallowed down riches, and he shall vomit them up again.
Right.
The Most High shall cast them out of his belly. He shall suck the poison of asp. The viper tongue shall slay him. He shall not see the rivers, the floods, the brooks of honey and butter.
See, that's true. If you listen to Esau, he done took all the money.
He had the fatness. He had the
worked hard.
fatness.
You know, no, you didn't.
Exactly.
Stop with that lie.
That's right. He got the penthouses. He's jet sitting. He has to, like Wisdom of Solomon, he has to fill up.
He controlled the patent office. So he controlled the patent office. So he put his name on
everything that he wasn't
many
licensed
inventions that he didn't invent.
That's right.
God.
Yeah, cause Jake had that in him. It's like, yo, man, hold on. Just if you leave me the fuck along and tell me to get this job done, I'm gonna come up with a way to get it done.
But Jake is creative.
The inventive of all
creative,
things.
You know, so you got the Baghdad batteries and things of that nature. With Jake made it, but who capitalized off of it?
Of course, Esau. And like you say, he go cough it up.
Right.
It's like the broom and the mop.
God.
Jake had to do all the labor. He invented the broom and the mop. The mop bucket, the ironing board, the washing machine. You know.
That's why I said Wisdom of Solomon 5. It say he made no accountants later.
This was
Hit the first verse on it. Let's go ahead and read your point.
this Wisdom of Solomon 5:1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him, and made no account of his labors. All right. Hey man, what you call it? They try to take credit for everything that Jake has done. Man.
They culture vultures, man. They take credit for everything that was great.
Music, man.
Yes.
Look, heavy metal can be traced back to Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, yeah.
Right. All right.
Chuck
Even
Berry.
before him, Chuck Berry.
Yup, Chuck Berry.
All right. So rock and roll
Little
goes back
Richard.
to Chuck Berry. Heavy metal goes back to Jimi Hendrix. How about that?
Yep.
All right. I mean,
Every
almost
Blues.
that's another way you know that it's over, man, because they got country hip hop now. You know that it's done.
Because it's all in
They
my
got country with the trap beat, with the trap hi-hat.
That's what I mean. It's a rap. But let's bring out this Vic Rosenberg. All right. And I believe that this may be a.
Is just a name that the British threw onto the amalgamation of a bunch of different tribes there that destabilized the region and led to a Nigeria is just a name that the British threw onto the amalgamation of a bunch of different tribes there that destabilized the region and led to a genocide and a Holocaust of the Igbo people. When in the 1960s, millions of them were systematically killed and murdered.
Yeah, he told me about that too, but I was running late, so.
And so it's so this is so relevant because we have such a never again Holocaust name, but these people had it. But what is mind-boggling to me, which I can't imagine why this is not in the news and not spoken about, is that a large chunk, more than a fourth of the transatlantic slave trade came specifically from this one tribe.
Mm.
So how are we not starting to connect dots and being like, wait a minute, so the tribe in Africa that the government of Israel is fascinated with and enamored by is now the blood of those people flowing through the African community here, which would make sense to me why they're all being we have an Israelite affinity where we're identifying this is us, we are this. And so I'm like, so yeah, if the DNA of the blood of these people, all right. Nigeria is just a name that the British threw onto the amalgamation of a bunch of different tribes there that destabilized the region and led to a genocide and a Holocaust of the Igbo people. When in the 1960s, millions of them were systematically killed and murdered.
Yeah, he told me about that too, but I was running late, so.
And so it's so this is so relevant because we have such a never again Holocaust name, but these people had it. But what is mind-boggling to me, which I can't imagine why this is not in the news and not spoken about, is that a large chunk, more than a fourth of the transatlantic slave trade came specifically from this one tribe.
Mm-hmm.
So how are we not starting to connect dots and being like, wait a minute? So the tribe in Africa that the government of Israel is fascinated with and enamored by is now the blood of those people flowing through the African American community here, which makes sense to me why they're all being like, we have an Israelite affinity where we're identifying this is us, we are this, and so I'm like, so yeah, if the DNA of the blood of these people are Nigeria is.
Okay, you can stop it there. So as you can see, man. The truth is, it literally is coming out like a flood, and it's not Nigeria. That whole area that's on that map that's on the screen right now, that whole area was called Negro Land. That's right. All right, and they're maps from the 1700s, from 1783. Well, that area was referred to as Negro Land.
Yep.
And Africans were never referred to as Negroes.
That's right.
All right. They don't call Africans Negroes to this day. So there's a difference between an African and a Negro. The Negroes were the Israelites that came from Jerusalem during the Roman persecution, and they came down into Africa and ended up building up the entire
west coast of
Africa.
Yep.
You had castles like you have in Europe all throughout West Africa. All right, they never showed them.
That's a lot.
And they were over there trying to destroy them in all these wars, and these recent wars that just happened not too long ago. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, it's another map I seen like a couple of days ago. It says Negro, then it says it says True Negro on West Africa. Then the rest of Africa it says Tyson Negro, showing they know that
there's a difference.
There's like the difference between the true Negroes and the other Negroes. The true Negroes are the Israelites in the Bible speaks.
Like real quick, now that we mentioned it, to give the source, let's get a definition of Ham. As you can see right there on the corner of the screen, it's got the four sons of Ham: Mizraim, Cush, Put, and Canaan. Canaan is the area in the world where the land of Israel and the surrounding and the Palestinians sits today. All right, that was Canaan. Africans, dark flesh Africans, sat in that land. That was their land. The sons of Ham. The same one that you say was a curse, that the curse of Ham came, and then you say Canaan went into slavery. Canaan was living in Palestine. Canaan lost his land first to the Israelites, and then he lost it to the Palestinians nowadays. All right, that whole area of Canaan and Mizraim, what Egypt was, the Hamites haven't ruled and controlled their own land for thousands of years at this point. All right, Ishmael and Esau is all up in there at this point. The curse of Ham had nothing to do with the slave trade. That was complete different bloodline, a complete different curse of people. Somebody got you got to bring it out, brother.
This Ham.
Give the source, brother.
Ham.
The source.
Give the source.
Zondervan's Bible Victorial Dictionary.
The Zondervan's Bible Pictorial Dictionary.
Salaki. But Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of the 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes, but the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites.
All right? It had nothing to do with it said not the Negroes. Negroes are not Hamites.
All
right?
Matter of fact, they don't like us. They tell you that off top.
Yeah, they
don't want to move in they don't want to move in our neighborhoods.
That was the whole thing with the beginning of that video. He was talking about the other Hamites around the Igbo that committed that genocide. It happened more than once.
Exactly. So why were these people? Why? Because they're two different races.
That's right.
The people in West Africa were different from those Hamitic dark people that lived around them. They were war ever since. What do you think the whole Palestine is the new way of saying Philistines?
Yeah.
The Israelites have always been enemies of the Philistines.
That's right, brother.
Oh,
the book of Joshua goes into that. You get to the 12th chapter, it tells you 31 African kings was put down based off of that. They had no problem pointing us out when it was time.
In Genesis, what does it say? It's an abomination for the Israelites to be with the Egyptians, the Egyptians with Israelites. All right, it's always been that separation. All right, I got a precept very quick. This is Exodus 11 and 7. You said you had that? Yeah. Okay, read it, bro. This Exodus 11 and 7. But against any of the children of Israel should not a dog move his tongue against man or beast. And ye may know how that the Lord Yahweh doth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel. And there's a difference, and it starts in the spirit, but also we don't look the same. All right, it is a fucking difference. Right. Our spirit is different either way. So it's this Hamite. Well, he's not really Hamite. This Nigerian to talk to. I was spoken to him about the Israelite thing. He told me how it's different over there. Like it's like the Hamites, even in Nigeria, the Hamites over there do not fuck with them. It's just a whole thing. Like it's just bugged out.
That's how it's spiritual. Because the oil and water don't mix. The scripture says every bird will resort to its kind.
Yeah, they still hate him to this day.
That's right. So that's why Jake is going to amalgamize with Jake. Collectively, you're going to get
like the Ghanaians and Nigerians are cool. Like the Israelites of them.
Right.
Then you got these Hamites that's still in these lands because they shit. Mm-hmm. You know, niggas just take over wherever they at.
Of course.
And they really be on. They really pissed off. They really tried to get. I was researching that 66 shit, and it happened 3 times. It happened 2 times before that. Mm-hmm. They've been fucking with the Igbo for a long time. Them Hamites.
That's right. No, because they know. All right, the elites know over there. They sent the man, and those colonizers went over there. Ham know. It's like we're when we left and came and flooded into Africa, fleeing from Roman persecution in 70 AD. The nations around they knew.
Oh yeah, they knew.
All right, and so that things get passed on to generations. People knew.
Those old this thing. The cotton, how Africans call niggas a cotton.
Yes.
Now some West Africans, the actual Israelites, took hold of the damn Hamite customs. And now there's a difference. No, that's why the Africans don't like your ass. That's right. All right? Because you ain't an African, you're not a Hamite. You a nigga just like us, man.
Your style ain't them.
And since we cussing out these Hamites, Joel 3 and 4, yea. And what have we to do? What have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine? And like the elder said earlier, that Palestine is really referring to the ancient Philistines at first, because that word is going to break down to Philistine. Will you render me a recompense? And if you recompense me, swiftly and speedily will I return your recompense upon your own head.
Keep that shit back to you.
Right, the Hamites, they know, and they've been oppressing Jake for centuries over there in Ham, the land of Ham, so-called Africa.
I got a precept. This Acts 21, and I'm gonna start at 37. And as Paul was to be led into the castle, he said unto the chief captain, "May I speak unto thee?" Who said, "Canst thou speak Greek? Art not thou that Egyptian which before these days made us an uproar?"
Exactly.
And led us out to the wilderness 4,000 men that were murderers. But Paul said, "I am a man which am a Jew of Tarsus, a city in Sicilia, a citizen of no mean city, and I beseech thee, suffer me to speak unto the people." And man, he got mistaken as Egyptian, man, but he was a Jew. Man.
That's why Yahweh Shai, as a baby, went to they went to Egypt to go hide from Herod.
That's why the angel told them to go down there.
That's right.
Okay.
So they would not be easily spotted.
Blend in.
To blend
Right.
in. And because Moses also got mistaken for an Egyptian.
That's
right.
Matter of fact, the Israelites got mistaken for Egyptians by other Hamites.
That's right.
When Jacob died.
I got a scripture for you.
I got a quick precept because now that y'all saying that, even when Pharaoh, what children he was trying to kill. This is Exodus 1 and 16, and he said, "When ye do offer office of a midwife to the Hebrew women, and see them about the stool, if it be a son, then ye should kill him.
Off top.
But if it be a daughter, then she should live." And they was trying to kill off the men. Why? Because we are the seed of Israel through the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So this Exodus.
This Exodus.
So this prove right here
that they knew.
They wanted to knock our race off.
They even knew.
Wanted to eradicate us.
Pharaoh even knew.
Yeah, because he wanted to get rid of the sperm line.
Exactly.
And all the girls that would be born
will carry on.
Would be able to impregnate them into bring forward Hamites.
Right.
So they knew that. They understood that. Matter of fact, that was common knowledge in the world until Esau Edom came into power.
Well, that's why they call you boss of family jewels.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
And that was common knowledge in the throughout the whole world until Esau Edom came into power and started changing shit. What he started removing landmarks, changing it. He just told you Nigeria was what the white people called it.
Right.
Africa is named after so-called white man, Scipio Africanus. It was called the land of Ham. You know?
Ha.
Exactly.
That's what it was. That's right. That's where the word chemical from.
Yeah,
Chemistry, right? Okay.
And
So it wasn't even called Africa.
I'm gonna finish this out. Read it to verse.
Where do you get the word Kemet from? All you Kemet niggas.
You hot
When you
motherfuckers.
call yourself Kemet, you agree that the Bible is real.
Exactly.
If you call yourself a goddamn Hamite, you black bastard.
Dumb fuck.
Your father Egyptology was a so-called white man. So
Absolutely.
You just followed another trap laid by Esau.
Stupido.
Verse 17. But the midwife feared the Most High Power God and did as the king of Egypt commanded them, but saved the man children alive. And the king of Egypt, called for the midwife and said unto them, why have ye done this thing? And have saved the man children alive. Because they was afraid of the Lord. So this proved that, hey, even our people follow the Lord. They don't follow the Most High. They don't follow Yahweh. So
Some. You got these 2/3 that's following the Hitler and Seeker, boy.
Verse 19. And the midwife said unto Pharaoh, because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women, for they are lively and deliver either the mid-child come midwives like that come in unto them.
So basically, they birth these kids and they up and moving around before we even get there.
Yeah, but we still sending them off, but yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
As they should have.
That doesn't like they were supposed
Yeah,
to.
because the women feared. It was like, man, we're not gonna kill the princes of Israel.
Kill our own?
Right, you
We
crazy.
killing our own?
That was when our new women were more.
That's when I
Our
was
women-
right. Our women hadn't gone completely off yet.
The number one murderer of
Yeah, because now, the most dangerous place for an Israelite child is in of the southern kingdom tribe anyway, Judah. Is inside their mother's womb.
They have war parties now.
She a straight hitman.
With cakes, man. They had
A cake, war party cake.
Where they basically throwing the baby away.
Shooting a baby in a motherfucking basket.
In a basket. That's a cake.
Are you serious?
Absolutely. Abort party. An abort party.
Then a abort party with the cake with the baby being shot like a freak.
Man, everybody attended.
Go.
Yes.
Screaming Kobe.
To her we all die.
That's absolutely.
Verse 20. Therefore, the Most High Power God dwelleth well with the midwife, and the people multiply and wax very mighty. Hey, the Lord. Hey, first of all, it's the Lord's show, so you can't get rid of us even if you want to. All your lies and you trying to cover up things, man. The Lord is on your ass, man. Plain and simple. You devils gotta die, man, for what the hell y'all did.
Wait, it's gonna return on head, man.
Come.
We're gonna get rid of their ass. That's they serve 1,000
And
years.
they put the Planned Parenthoods up. Now you got a damn birth problem, man.
Yep.
Can't even have no kids.
Yeah, and they pass the laws to make all these Edomite, slant words. You know what I'm saying? Jump. Oh my God.
Fuck
Jump. You know, these women that don't want to have their babies. These Edomite women are celebrating. Speaking of, there was a double rally downtown where you had the opposers for abortion and the people who were for abortion. And I thought to myself, this is on TV, but I think, was it last week or the week before? They had a whole bunch of Ukrainians out there with their flags that were protesting against the war. There wasn't one TV, there wasn't no TV, not a camera. And they sitting in the Daily Plaza right across from ABC. Like I said,
Absolutely.
all ABC had to do was turn
the cameras around.
Outside,
Right.
in their windows. They didn't have to go out there. They did not cover that. No vans pulled up nothing. Right? The only people with their phones that was uploading it to social media is how it went up. All right? But as soon as you got some controversy with the hoes and want to be able to go out kill their babies and still get the morning after pill or whatever. All right, and then you had
Get government funding.
all the fake Jesus lovers that were against it, and the people who are against it only because they try to preserve so-called made-up whiteness, because so-called white people are not having children. They're the minority now. They lost, 40 plus million over the last 20 years to opioids.
They men ain't looking at them no more.
40 plus million, right? 40 plus million lost to opioids alone. All right, and then all these. Now you don't want to condition these women to be independent and not want a man, and to like other women and not men, and all this other bullshit. That's all your own policy coming back on you. And now you want to try to reverse it and force women to have babies. All right, and not chase their careers and their dreams to be a boss bitch.
That white bitch said she got the politician. She got on stage before the world and said, "This is a victory for white people."
Yes.
Oh.
And she won, and quietly she tried to say she tried to clean up, said right, but it had been said already.
White.
Someone else had already said it, and I called it right out the gate.
Yeah, that's what it was for. You got these Edomite bitches going to the Planned Parenthood now. That's what my mission, because the Corral said this shit falling on head.
And the people complaining about it, the women who wanted to have the baby, they didn't want to have the babies, wanted to kill the babies, were saying it too. This is just for the white patriotic thing, because they just want to they want a victory because they just want more children. They want babies.
Yep.
And so their tongues were falling upon themselves, right?
I got a scripture for you.
And also the prophecy of the Lord is coming to pass. Like it, pops. It said you are small amongst the nations. You are small among the heathen, Obadiah. All right, and that's why they got what's that shit? It's called intravenous and all this.
Intravenous.
Yeah, I had a couple clients that had children that way.
That's because
they couldn't that right.
They gotta fertilize the pussy.
Yeah, a lot of
use the fertilizer on your egg.
A lot of men.
That's not a high.
And they both JOOs. Matter of fact, all three of them. It's three of them. Because Big Red, she was too. Yeah, all three of them was did that in vitro stuff. Because why? Because Red's man couldn't get up pregnant. The other one didn't have no man, and the other one didn't want no man.
That's right.
Esau. And then these women are freezing their eggs.
That's what they did.
That they get them later, and then now the eggs going bad.
All of them was having problems because they all was in their late 30s, pushing 40s. Pushing their 40s, man. They were having a hard time getting pregnant. Why? And then I even remember Red telling me, just in conversation, when she was trying to get pregnant, just in conversation, and then she just let me know she had been on birth control for 20-something years since sophomore or freshman year of high school.
Her womb convoluted like a motherfucker.
And it said the doctor said, well, it takes you what did it say?
What? X amount of time, right?
So many times
to clear it out.
Per year that you were on it. So that's why. Yeah, so
it might take a year to clean out one.
Try. And that little whip she made, he couldn't keep up. He couldn't skin enough. All right? That's why she had to, and that's what it is. That's why she had to go get in vitro. He couldn't, it's like, damn.
Hey,
I gotta do what? You mean I gotta do it this many times per year?
Exactly, but you put that kind of heat on the Israelite. What it said, the more they got at them, the more they made babies. The more tribulation you put on the Israelites when they was in Egypt and in slavery, the more babies they made.
They don't die.
That's it.
Hey, and another thing, a lot of these Edomite men they chasing the bag right now. They don't want kids.
Well, they passport bros.
Yeah, they're not dealing with these.
Yeah, that Me Too. The Edomite women were the main ones pushing that Me Too, and it all backfired on her. All right, it backfired on because even so-called white men had already been going to Asia to get wives and stuff like that. And they have been doing that for a while. But they're doing it even more so now. They'll deal with women from other countries. They just don't want to deal with Western women, so they're not really going to Europe to get them out. Because the NATO countries, I mean, you might as well be in America. It's the same mindset.
But that's the curses. The way our women was gonna be evil toward us is the evil that they women's gonna have toward them, which goes back to this Deuteronomy 30:7. And Yahweh thy power put all these curses upon thy enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. So all these curses that was on us has got to pass to all these different nations of people now, and their women and the whole deal. Our women hated us, so now. Since women are drawing the power, as our power come up, they go start hating their men more and more.
It's already happened.
Yes.
Right now we're in the process.
The
of
beginning phase
in the prophecies of one kingdom being translated over to another.
Yes.
It's like a seesaw. It's not one quick thing. It's a gradualism as well. And the Lord is building up the men of the Lord, and He's taking down Esau. And Babylon is falling, and Israel is
crazy. I think I was with Benji. We was downtown, and I was we went to we was walking behind some Edomites, and I told her, I said, man, I don't know what these Edomite women say to Edomite men. She started laughing like I plead the fifth. She low key was putting her beard in, you know. She was like, I plead the fifth, you know. The Esau women dealing with them, you know. They dealing with everybody else, you know.
Yes.
They dealing with them for the money,
15,
you know.
I mean 17. No. Wait a minute. Go ahead, bro.
Edomite women out there even dealing with Arabs.
Right.
Yeah. 27.
Dealing with Moab.
Those that remain of him shall be buried in death, and his widow shall not weep. I had two actresses that I've been training for years, and they both were complaining about the patriarchy in their theater company, and the theater because one of them just stays combat, and she does the stunts, the damn stunt woman and shit.
Oh, okay.
But she both of them were complaining about the white male patriarchy, and that they're tired of white men, and they're tired of doing these historical things that are inaccurate, because they know that a lot of these characters that they're playing were not white people. All right, and then how they always want a white lead. But you know what? They're the ones that gave the women all these power and all these voices. Now they're coming against them. Gotcha, bitch. Yeah, it's all backfiring on them.
And then they with us.
So they're very well aware that all these period pieces with Henry V and Amadeus and all, they know that these weren't white people. They're aware of that. The ones who've actually studied and learned. Yeah. All right, they know. All right. Shakespeare was Othello, the Moor of Venice.
Yes.
Think about it, man. If white people were ruling in Venice in the 1400s, all right, the 1300s, the 1400s, 1500s, what makes you think that a white man would write a play about a white woman getting stretched out by a blackamoor? All right. You really think that a white male would have done that in the 1500s?
Now, the funny thing is, before he said Shakespeare, my mind went there, and I just holding my peace. But now he said it, I must speak on it. If you read the works of Shakespeare and you go into Old English, blackamoor, that's like over the top. That's on the nose. Do you know how many in his plays Shakespeare wrote? Over a dozen plays. How many references he has in his plays? If you know Old English and you read it, that the majority of all these characters were so-called black in the first place.
And they tell you
what about the movie Django?
I have a complete works of Shakespeare at home, and they're really old. All right, actually, I have two. One I've had damn near since I came into this truth, because I bought it probably a couple months after being in. But I bought that book, and when you turn to the glossary of that book, when it gets to the point where it says colored red, it tells you Cain and Esau.
Oh,
so
damn.
you can't tell. So
They knew. They knew back then.
It said red.
God.
It tells you in the glossary of this book, and I haven't done it in a long time, but I'll show the video and show the receipts, all right, and show the glossary. It tells you in the glossary. I don't even know what made me turn to the glossary and start looking up words. And it said, and then I turned to it, and guess what? I highlighted that shit.
They told him was black too.
Yeah, well, like you said, they showed you that in Django when he said you killed D'Artagnan, but the guy that wrote that.
He was a black man.
He was a black man.
He said, soft-hearted Frenchie. And he was like, dumbass. Alexander Dumas was black. Dummy. All right, so yes, and that's the writer of the Three Musketeers.
Con,
All right,
absolutely.
and so the Musketeers, at the time that the Musketeers is a fictional group, I mean, they might have been based on reality. All right, as cold as they were, the soldiers, but at that time, so-called black people were the rulers in Europe, and that letter. That, as a matter of fact, Benji, if you want to pull that letter up, as a matter of fact, we're getting ready to close with that. You already know what I'm talking about. Go right to the point.
I remember at Drew Hillville, they showed the Musketeers, all the black people. They showed
Mm-hmm. All right. There's a letter that Ben Franklin wrote in 1751, and in that letter, he pretty much lets you know that all of Europe was so-called black, except the English, which that was a lie. The English were so-called swarthy as well. He said that all of Europe, and he talked about the Swedes, the Romanians, and the Germans, and all right, because I was watching a German movie before I came here. I clicked it on that Blood and Gold. It's on Netflix.
Okay.
All right, and I was watching a little bit of it, and I was like, okay, I'm going. I have to watch the first 5 or 6 minutes to see if it catches my attention.
Right.
And they kept talking about the fatherland and Aryan, and I'm like, you're not even the real Germans, dummy. You're not even the real Germans, and secondly, you're not even the real Aryans. The Aryans goes back to the Elam, to the so-called Indian people, East Indians. They're the
original.
So the Esau Edom is just a liar and a thief about you created this whole false whiteness, which is made up, and then you claim it to be the Germany as a fatherland, which was the Picts that lived there, and the Picts were a dark complexion of people. All right. And then you claim to be Aryans, and the Aryans was Elamites.
Yeah, he everybody but Esau.
Culture vultures. Look at this, change everything in the process.
That's pathetic, man.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And he can't hide himself, like the scripture says. It's out.
Well, he slipped up in the Ten Commandments, the Amalekites.
You tell him when he put his hand out.
Yeah, absolutely. They never showed that in the Ten Commandments where he put his hand in.
Yeah, they avoided that part.
They avoided that conveniently. Conveniently.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 4 and verse 18. It says, "But the path of the just is as the shining light that shineth more and more unto the perfect day." So ultimately, this truth is going to come out, man. That's right. With it, the exposition of Esau Edom, man. All the wickedness that he's done, and the Lord's going to make that difference. Now, who are the righteous, his people, and who are the wicked, man?
There it is, man. Would you want to go ahead and read that, brother?
I just scroll that down to it. The source of this is from his letter, Observations Concerning the Increase of Mankind.
Which means he wasn't even counting the other nations as an increase in mankind. Mm-hmm. He's only counting the newly found. Because remember, when he wrote this letter, whiteness was less than 100 years old. All right? Just take that into mind. When he wrote this letter, whiteness was less than 100 years old.
Yep.
All right?
It says it was cited up top. It says 1751. There you go. So this
So about 60 something years old. All right.
Yeah.
About 65, 70 years old was whiteness. The made up whiteness when he wrote this letter. Go ahead, brother.
Why should Pennsylvania, founded by the English, become a colony of aliens who will surely be so numerous as to Germanize us instead of our anglifying them, and will never adopt our language or customs anymore and can acquire our complexion?
Now, can I interject this one thing? He's not. They're not the angelic sons of Isaac. So he's lying about that part. They're not the Saxons. They're Edomites. All right. There's more than enough evidence to prove that the Brits were also so-called black men of color.
Which leads me to add one remark, that the number of purely white people in the world is proportionately very small. All Africa is black or tawny, Asia chiefly tawny, America exclusive of the newcomers, only so the natives are not red as they try to tell you.
Yeah, he just told you that the natives were tawny All right, swarthy, and just so you know, I looked up that word swarthy in the in that dictionary, that banger that I have, the Winston Simplified Dictionary, 1925. All right, I got a 1925 one now, and it takes swarthy. One of the words for swarthy is dusky, and I've read descriptions of King James and the Scots being referred to as the dusky hordes or the dusky or the swarthy hordes of Scotland, and that word dusky among Negroes it got interchanged with dusty. So they say your dusty ass.
Dusty ass.
Really saying your dusty ass, your brown ass, or your dark ass. So that's what that's saying. Just so you brothers know.
Dusty ass ninja.
Right, that dusty ass nigga, they're saying dusky. So the word swarthy is interchangeable with dusky, Moor, Moreno, and black, and Jew.
That's right.
All right.
Damn.
And
So all those words are interchangeable.
That's right.
All right.
In the Hebrew, the word shakar, which means black in Job 30:30, means to be dim or dark in color. And then when it breaks it down, it says as if dusk. When the sun is setting, it's
Dusky.
as if it's dusk.
Right.
You know, showing you that so-called black in the scriptures is really saying dusky.
Right, and with and with Negroes coming from the west coast of Africa, dusky became dusty. And
Yeah.
we still say that as an insult to Jake to this day. Yo, dusty ass.
Yo, dusty ass,
Right?
absolutely.
They're really saying dusky. Go ahead, say
Holy so, and in Europe, the Spaniards, Italians, French, Russians, and Swedes are generally of what we call a swarthy complexion.
Read it again.
Mm-hmm. And in Europe, the Spaniards, Italians, French, Russians, and Swedes are generally of what we call a swarthy complexion, as are the Germans also.
Oh, so I guess there wasn't a fatherland for you sons of Dedan. Go ahead.
The sex is only accepted who with the English make up the principal body of white people,
Which was a lie.
on the face of the earth.
You got to learn about Oliver Cromwell. He removed all the Negroes from Ireland, Scotland, and Britain, all right, in the 1600s, all right, and to ensure that basically the Renaissance has started, all right. So that was the work of Oliver Cromwell. As a matter of fact, Oliver Cromwell is the one who put King James' grandson, King Charles II, to death, Black Boy. All right, and that was his nickname. All right, his name, and he got beheaded by Oliver Cromwell.
Damn.
All right, that was King James' grandson, and I have yet to come across a white guy that calls himself Black Boy. I haven't met one yet.
That's right.
All right.
That's right.
Go ahead.
I could wish their numbers were increased, and while we are, as I may call it, scoring our planet by clearing America of woods, and so making the side of our globe reflect a brighter light to the eyes of the inhabitants in Mars or Venus, why should we, in sight of superior beings, darken his people? Why increase the sons of Africa by planting them in America?
So he was purposely pushing that lie already. All right, that the Negro was African. All right, and that's a lie. The Negro didn't come. The Negro came from Jerusalem. He was a refugee in Africa. That's why there was genocide being committed on him by the black Africans, by the dark Africans.
That's right.
A different dark race.
And he was also in Europe, and he's also in Asia. And it's also, we were spread out, and not just only Africa. That's why they try to singularize so-called the African, so-called black trade from Africa. Just all y'all from Africa. No, there was a whole, that was not a triangular trade. It was more like a rectangular trade.
God, and he just said in the letter, the Swedes, the Germans, they were all tawny. They were all swarthy.
So you have to go to what? You have to go to Europe, to the west coast of Africa, over to South America, and back up to America. That's more rectangular than triangular.
But even think about
Four corners.
when the Judite slaves ran away on the Trafalgar, how the Trafalgar hid those people because they all was dark skinned.
It was all dark skinned, exactly.
Right.
That's right. But go ahead, Saint Benji, finish.
while increasing the sons of Africa by planting them in America, we have so fair an opportunity by excluding all blacks and tawnies of increasing the lovely white and red.
So he just lets you know, right, that these red people,
Lovely.
these red Edomites, they're falsely referred to themselves as white.
Blue vein
Right.
motherfuckers.
Okay, he lets you know, and he also lets you know that Native Americans were not red at all. That was a lie that they came up later to try to control the narrative of color. All right, so we can stop it right there. So the point has been made, man. The evidence is out there, and I'm waiting for that to be pulled off the internet. That's very condemning, especially you got white women reading it, saying that there's no such thing as whiteness to other white people. You got this, Jewish guy who's really not, an Edomite, saying the same thing. Whiteness is made up. So the truth is out there, man.
Okay.
All right. And all I can say to you, Edomites, is that you had a good run. It's still your time. Enjoy the little bit of time you got. But it sucks to be you.
Turn up.
All right?
Sucks to be you.
Sucks to be you.
So the white comedian said, wait till our stuff catch up to us.
Louis C.K.
Yeah, Louis. Yeah, he said. Yeah,
They all know.
Yeah, he said. But in the future, we're gonna pay for this shit. And they are. And so with that, we're gonna give all praises, glory, and honor
To Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rekakurash, Abba.
Turn those machines off. Like,
Sell, sell.
Trying to find this.